Are you holding a phone right now? I'll bet you are, and that's okay because you're not operating a motor vehicle. It's time for us to get serious about distracted driving, and Lucas is on the case.
Driving takes a lot of brain power. I mean, you gotta divide your attention between other cars, pedestrians, and even this conversation I'm having with you is taking my attention off the road. So I've come to Michigan to talk to a group who's helping the next generation of vehicles adapt to our changing focus on the fly. We're here at Harman International. They've developed a one-of-a-kind in-car monitoring system that can tell when a driver is too distracted. And I get to test it out firsthand.
Well, Stefan, I'm telling you, if I've got the choice between driving in real life and driving in a simulation, this is more my style.
Okay, let's make things more interesting. Pass the white car and go as fast as you can. Pass all the other cars in front of you if possible.
Whoa! Did you see that? Okay, so I've got the accelerator pegged.
May I ask you questions? What's 5 times 6?
30.
Good. 7 times 8?
56.
12 times 11?
Stefan, why are you asking me math questions?
There's the direct correlation between cognitive workload and poor driving performance. This system measures cognitive workload in real time, and it does that by looking at the diameter of your pupil, which fluctuates very briefly when you're thinking very hard. Math questions are just an example of how to increase your cognitive workload.
Stefan Marty is the computer whiz behind this project.
I have an unusual background. I'm part psychologist, part computer scientist. And as a psychologist, I'm interested in how people work and how they express themselves. As a computer scientist, I'm interested in to exploit these methods for human-computer interaction and try to influence how machines and people interact with each other. So the eye tracking system tries to find the pupil, the iris, and then it finds the diameter of the pupil and then continuously measures that.
When your pupils dilate, it's an indication of mental multitasking.
If I'm sitting here listening to radio, that's very low cognitive load. But if there is a conversation going on, let's say between me and the passenger, or between me on a cell phone and a remote person, that requires much, much more cognitive activity and is in turn a little bit of a distraction. If you're having a very high cognitive workload level, there's a good chance that you're not driving very well.
Harman's system is designed to jump in and assist your driving. Kind of like a backseat driver, just not an annoying one.
To me, it's almost magical that we have now this device that almost gives me a plug into my brain and a readout of the cognitive activity of my brain.
This is amazing because typically to get inside my head, I would need to be physically hooked up to some sort of machine.
You can actually not even tell that the system is looking at you, and the system becomes more aware of your cognitive workload.
What do you do with all that data? I mean, what's the point of measuring how distracted I am or what's happening with my brain at the time?
The idea is that the car becomes more cautious when you're having high cognitive workload. So basically, your car adapts to you.
Oh, that's cool. How do you think I'm doing so far?
Very good. Let's look at the data that we've recorded so far.
While I was doing the simulation, I felt pretty relaxed, but I'm seeing quite a bit of spikes here, man. Those aren't good, right?
Well, that's normal, right? I mean, this was an unusual driving situation. At the beginning, you had to get used to the simulator. Then here, this was the spike where I asked you 11 by 12, which is a really tough math question. We did discuss intensely the details of the technology that spiked your cognitive load here.
I mean, what do these spikes actually mean?
If the car realizes that you're in a high cognitive workload situation, it simplifies the display information for you.
This backseat driver even jumps in and puts all extra devices on mute to help lower your cognitive workload.
Is there any other simulation that can sort of test me a little more?
We do have something like that for you.
Oh, I look forward to it. Just, Stefan, do me a huge favor. No more math.
In the highway simulation, math was a way to split my focus from driving, but distractions can happen naturally too. Let's put the pedal to the metal.
Oh, I'm going way too fast through this city.
You're much closer to the other cars. The cars come closer to you.
Oh. But because I'm looking at the buildings and the cars and the people on either side of me, my eyes are darting around way more than they did on the highway.
So there's a lot of things that could happen that we would not expect on a highway, obviously. Yes, this one too. This also spiked you.
That was not a safe left I just took.
All of this data is coming in real time.
I gotta tell you, Stefan, I thought that driving in a simulation would actually be a little bit more relaxing, but I gotta be honest, I'm ready to head back out to the real world. Oh, we're so close.